Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Brand Battles. So today I'm going to be looking into the supplement space, comparing Thesis and Onnit. I'm going to look at what creatives these brands are currently using and what they're testing. I'm going to look at where they're sending traffic to, and I'm going to tell you which brand is doing it better. Finally, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can apply what they're doing into your store. Stick around for the end, where I'm also going to show you my 20 favorite statics that are currently on Meta. I'm going to show you where you can download that resource so you can take them for yourself and see exactly my breakdown on what those statics are doing right and how you can copy them for your business. My name's Ollie and I'm the co-founder of Loudline, where we've helped to scale over 100 brands and we've overseen the production of over 40,000 creatives. Now, we have two really great brands here, but stick around for the second one because I really believe that Thesis might be the best ads library I've ever seen, as well as having an incredible landing page and testing cadence. So you're really going to want to see my breakdown on them. But first of all, we'll start with Onnit, who are doing a lot of things right. And there's a lot to learn from because there's also a lot that they're leaving on the table. Yeah, we'll go into their landing page first. So if you look on Foreplay, you can see they are testing a few landing pages, but pretty much all of them are going to this main product page. I've opened up the other pages to see if they're at least testing different hooks and things like that, but they're not. These are basically all the same pages, just with different products. So yeah, I can confidently say they're not testing many landing pages. You can see here they're all the same, just different product, but everything else is pretty much the same on their landing pages. And I've scrolled down as well. But to start off with, I don't like how their product page isn't doing much selling. So you've just got a photo of the product, you've got a photo of pills in someone's hand, you've got another photo of the product, and you've got a bit about the ingredients. This is your only good image, showing exactly how this product will change your life. But the rest of it is wasted opportunity. You've got all this empty space, you've got basically just packaging. You're not selling packaging, you're selling a transformation. You know, especially with a supplement, you're trying to tell people how the product will change their life and the benefits they're going to get from that. This is good, but it's very small text. So and it's kind of just reinforcing exactly the same stuff that's already here as well. So you've got it in the static and then you've got it over here. You're not really making the most of this space. You're not really showing your customers anything new that they don't know already. And then here as well, a little bit more, but still repeating the same benefits. So in this whole space here, the whole landing page essentially doesn't do anything to help convert the customer. You've also got to assume that the ads are probably talking about these things already, and that's why someone's clicked. So they've not really gained anything extra from the page. On the other hand, the design is nice, and I like what they've done here to improve AOV. So yeah, you know, the packaging is nice, whilst I wouldn't be showcasing just that on the image section, and I would have more statics to show why your product's good. You know, there's such a big opportunity. You could do an us versus them and show how your product's better than your competitors, and things like that. You know, any static that does well online, you could easily put in here, and it's a big opportunity. You could even have some UGC over here as well, and some videos showing people using your product and talking about how it changed their life. But yeah, back to the AOV. So one thing I really like is brands a lot of the time make this section confusing for their customers. They'll just have numbers like buy two, get one free. They won't explain what that means to the customer. But what I like here is they're thinking about how this is going to look like day to day for the customer. They're helping the customer visualize it. Is it one capsule a day or two capsules a day? They're not just throwing numbers like 100 pills, 200 pills, 300 pills. They're letting them visualize themselves using the product. So one capsule a day, two capsules a day. And then they've got the 30-day count, 60-day count, 90-day count. Another reason why this is so important to do is because, especially with subscribe and save, if I've ordered 2 capsules a day without realizing it's 2 capsules a day, if they hadn't had this feature and I just ordered 90 pills and this was coming at every 45-day interval, if I was only taking one a day, the next shipment would arrive. I would see that I've still got half the box left. I would then cancel the subscription, and then it's so much harder to get that customer back once they've already canceled their subscription, because they feel like they're overwhelmed. They've got too much of the product arriving. So actually visualizing this for them is very clever, and I've seen very few brands actually doing this. So this is a really good thing. Obviously, subscribe and save, great for LTV. Having the money back guarantee, crucial. I would signpost this even bigger on the website, because money back guarantees, especially for an unknown supplement you haven't used before, are very much going to help people get through the door and become a customer. Only 5% of people on average in e-commerce trigger money back guarantee, but on average it increases your sales by way more because it reverses the risk. The customer doesn't have any risk to buy your product anymore. So I recommend every brand does this. Unless you've got a terrible product, obviously, then maybe more than 5% will do it. But on average, you're not going to get many chargebacks or refunds because people feel guilty or they just start using the product or they forget about it. So it's a really good idea to have this in there, and just helps people know that you stand behind your product and that you're, offering them something that you believe in. So down here, still a lot of wasted space, a lot of product photos, a big missed opportunity to do more selling and to tell people how the product's going to change their life. Whilst it's good that they're helping people to visualize their lives with the product, there's no sort of explanation, there's no mechanism. Like, why is the old supplement not working? Why do they need this new supplement? Why are the competitors not working? Things like that are essential because there's so much competition out there. You've just got to be showing why you're better. You can't just say, hey, here's another supplement, buy it and hope for the best. People aren't going to waste months of their lives trialing a new product and a new supplement, taking it every single day without that much social proof. So for this section down here, I really like the thinking behind obviously trying to increase AOV. Like, that's why they're doing this. They're trying to make sure that the customer finds a product they like. On the other hand, I think this will create a bit of decision fatigue because there's so much information here and there's so many products, like 6 products listed side by side at the bottom. I just think that's quite overwhelming, especially for a new customer. Like, I'm coming to this website, I'm not even convinced on your brand yet. Now you're trying to sell me all these products. I'd be interested to see the numbers behind whether or not this did increase the average order value. I think this is great for existing customers, but we know that Onnit are sending everyone to the same landing page. So everyone's coming to this page and they're just being sold all these products. So I personally don't think that's a great idea. I prefer the upsells to be in this section over here and make it simple. I like after sell upsells. It's a really good app to have in your store. Once people have already checked out and you've secured them as a customer, then once they've already typed in their card info, you give them the chance to add a product with just one click and add it to their order. I think those are really, really good methods to do. We improved the client's revenue by 50% just by implementing after-sale apps and after-sale funnels this year. In the past 3 months, the AOV went up by 50%, which obviously increased their revenue by 50%. So easy to do and so underutilized. You've obviously got to test a little bit with it, and you've got to optimize the after-sale funnels, figure out what to sell for which product and look at the data. But it's so much easier to do than other ways to increase your revenue by 50%. So things like that are essential, but I wouldn't necessarily think this is a good idea. But if you've got the budget, definitely test it and see what happens. This quiz pop-up, really good as well. They don't have a full pop-up, but having this popping up in the side at least is a good opportunity for people to type in their email when they complete a quiz. It's an opportunity for you to collect an email, collect a phone number. Quizzes work really well, particularly in the supplement space, and more in these kind of scientific areas. They work really well. But yeah, the reviews, I mean, you've got some bad reviews here. It would be great if they had more carefully selected reviews with social proof at the top. I mean, they've got Joe Rogan as their main brand ambassador, but they've not got anything about him on this page. They could have carefully selected quotes from him. They could have put other testimonials. I'm sure if they've got Joe Rogan, they must have lots of other influencers and creators. They could have a whole section here talking about that and screenshotting the best reviews. So that's a missed opportunity. Too many bad reviews in here. I think, yeah, there's a lot more lower down. At least they're replying to it, but still not great. And yeah, so that's the landing page. So onto their ads library now. They've got a surprisingly low amount of ads. I've saved the best ones for us to look at, or the ones that I have something to say about. But just sort of at a glance, their ads library, you can see they've got a mixture of videos and statics. The things that jump out at me are that they don't have many whitelisted ads. They've got a testimonial from Joe Rogan. I don't know if they have it in the contract or if they'd be able to get him as a whitelist ad. That would be so much more effective if people saw Onnit's ads from Joe Rogan's profile. That's so much more effective. All our clients see an uplift in results when they use whitelist ads, because you're getting people who wouldn't really stop the scroll when looking at your brand, but they see someone they know or an influencer or even a micro influencer, and they're like, oh shit, what has this person posted? And then you've got their attention and they're more likely to watch your ad. Also, even people who don't know the influencer, you're statistically more likely to look at something you don't think is an ad if it looks like a person as opposed to a brand. So blending in with the profile and looking like a normal person is so much better than advertising from a brand account, which is why you want to do as many of those whitelist ads as possible. And I think they are doing maybe a couple lower down, but just not enough. And yeah, I can't even find any here actually. So that's definitely not good. That's a wasted opportunity. The pros of this overall, you've got a consistent branding and consistent theme and color scheme and everything. I think that's obviously good. You can see a lot of high production stuff in here, so that the quality is good and the branding's good, but there's not enough sort of native ads here. You've got, okay, one UGC video there, which I'll go into later, but there's nothing here that tries to blend in with the platform. There's no native ads. There's no sort of unique formats that try and stop the scroll. It's all very sort of pretty and very polished. And yeah, and as well as that, not much variety. I mean, if your brand has Joe Rogan as a ambassador, someone, you know, like an A-list celebrity, you should be testing different hooks with that. You should be repurposing dozens and dozens of videos just with that clip. You should be clipping it up. You should be putting lots of different types of videos or statics using that influencer. So again, a really massive missed opportunity. They've got such a big like opportunity and such a big advantage with him on board, but they're just really not utilizing it. So going into the foreplay for the ads that I've saved, let's look at this static first. So I like this one because it's got reviews on there. Again, just the photo of the product. I just think they're showing their product around too much. I don't think there's enough selling it. There's no social proof. Like, you could have Joe Rogan holding that bottle here and then have the testimonials. That would be much better. But overall, yeah, decent static for people who have objections, showing, you know, I'm assuming carefully selected reviews that will help convince people to buy. Let's look at this video now.
Black label, the strongest version of our brain, which I've been testing over the last 6 months. So it's got theanine in it.
Yeah, the theanine is going to take the edge off. The caffeine anhydrous is the right form of caffeine. The phosphatidylserine is going to actually be a little.
So like, you've literally got Joe Rogan talking about this product on a podcast, which so many people will stop scrolling when they see a Joe Rogan clip. Even here, like, why not test a video that goes straight into the podcast? Like, that should be the first frame. That's such a classic image, such a recognizable, iconic image. If you just went straight into that, so many more people would watch the video.
Yeah, the theanine is going to take the edge off. The caffeine anhydrous is the right form of caffeine. The phosphatidylserine is going to actually be a little bit of a reduction in cortisol. Acetylcholine is going to increase acetylcholine, which is involved in the brain's.
Yeah, so there's really just not enough testing going on. Like, this is an amazing video, overwhelming social proof. Why not just test dozens, if not hundreds more ads like it? And yeah, they've got one static here with Joe Rogan on it, but come on, like, they say he's talked about it for 15 years. Like, that's crazy. Like, you've got one of the biggest celebrities in the world, one of the most influential as well. People live by his opinions. Why not put more images of him in here? And again, yeah, they're not really hitting any pain points or emotional drivers here. And that's another point I was going to make on the landing page as well. There's nothing really to, they've not really, yeah, they've not gone into any emotional hooks. They've not really gone into, what do people really struggle with every day? Why do they buy supplements? Like, what's their big pain point? What are they losing out in their day-to-day that they're going to gain with this product? There's nothing that really tackles that deeper pain point that a customer might have. Like, dial in your edge. Like, it doesn't really mean much. Like, it's cool marketing or whatever. It might be a cool phrase, dial in your concentration, but it doesn't really do much. And it's very high production. And again, you immediately know it's an ad because it's a photo of the product. I don't think that's good to do. You don't want people to immediately know it's an ad. Anyway, they've got one native, more natural looking video that I found. So we'll look into this one.
That's because hacks can help, but they can't beat consistency. You can try every trend out there, but you absolutely need to hit the basics. Everyone wants a shortcut to locking in without giving their brain the tools to actually get in the zone. That's why Alpha Brain is a key part of my daily routine. It's not a quick fix.
So note how this is very old style UGC that doesn't really work anymore, where it's just influencer selfie product. There's nothing that unique. I'll show an example now of a ad that I really like that shows how much effort really needs to be put in to UGC nowadays for it to work. So this ad here from Bearaby, I think, is an amazing example of why an influencer holding a product doesn't work anymore, and why the UGC that puts a lot of effort in is just overwhelmingly more successful right now, and people just don't bother stopping the scroll and watching videos of influencers saying, hey, buy this product.
This weighted blanket weighs as much as a couple watermelons, and here's why it betters your sleep. When your body feels weight, your brain produces melatonin naturally.
So you can see that hook already. Compared to Onnit, Onnit is just, okay, there's a guy here telling me to buy these supplements. Like, why do I care? Like, it's not entertaining me. I'm not interested. Here, you've got a girl that's holding up a blanket and comparing the weight to 2 watermelons, obviously because it's a weighted blanket, and that's the selling point of the product. But she's like made such a big effort to visually demonstrate the benefits of the product. Infinitely more successful than the Onnit ad, I'm sure, because no one's going to be more interested in that than they are in, you know, something so visually interesting as like putting 2 watermelons on a scale compared to a blanket. Like it's more imaginative and it's more creative, and that's the standard you've got to be doing with UGC now, because the market is just so flooded with generic influencer videos. And I reviewed Berebee's ads in one of my other videos, and I think they do a good job with them. So in general, like that's their one native video. I just don't think that enough effort's gone into that. I think it's a bit of a lazy ad. This is the only one I found that was sort of a bit different from their usual style, in the sense that it's not clear it's an ad. It looks like one of those sort of emotional story videos on someone's story, and that could get people to stop the scroll and read about it and find out about the product. It's just sort of hovering on the screen. It's kind of like a bit of a GIF ad, I would say. Decent amount of pain points in here. This actually shows they understand their customer, but I don't get this from the other videos. So talking about relying on stimulants more than he wanted to, getting distracted throughout the day, and then he found Alpha Brain. Again, they have to capitalize the product and just shove it in your face. Again, I think they're not trying to hide that they're doing ads, which I think is a mistake. But this is the better one I've seen so far. Now, my criticism doesn't mean that their ad account's terrible. They do still have a Joe Rogan endorsement, and they've got a good variety of statics and videos. I just think they're too overtly ads. There's not enough native ads in here, and there's a lot they're leaving on the table, such as whitelist ads, and just hook testing, testing varieties of the winning ads in the Joe Rogan videos, etc.
Why do you fall off halfway through your workout? It's not strict.
That's a great hook, by the way. That's clearly relatable. Anyone who works out, that is going to stop scrolling for that. So this one is an example of a much better one.
It's focus. You go from locked in to just finishing reps. That's where most people stay. But the ones who actually progress, they don't lose that edge. They stay mentally present all the way through. That's the role Alpha Brain is built to play. It helps support cognitive function, sustained attention during a task, and mental processing speed, so you can stay in control as the workout progresses. From your first set to your last, you're still in it. Get Alpha Brain today.
Yeah, so that's exactly what they need to be doing more of. It's got emotional hooks in there. It shows they relate to the customer. It's not revealed the product too early. So that is what they need to be doing more of. Let's pick a couple other random videos quickly. I think this one was... Oh yeah, this was one I liked because since the Andromeda update, as I say all the time, you've got to be targeting people with creatives. You don't target with interests and lookalikes anymore. The creative is what Meta uses. They look at who's stopping the scroll to watch this video or who's buying from this video, and they show it to more similar people. So you want to be targeting as many customer avatars as you can be. And this video has a surfer in it, and it's a surfer talking about his daily routine. Now, if you're a surfer, you're going to be way more likely to stop scrolling. You'll click on it. You're more likely to buy the product. Then Meta's going to show it to other surfers, and suddenly Onnit have a bigger market share now because they're targeting different customer groups. So you want to be doing this, but on a much bigger scale. So this is both a pro and a con, because on one hand, it's good that they're doing this, but on the other, it's like, why aren't you doing more of this? Why don't they have more videos like this? So yeah, but this itself is very, like, a very good video.
My focus starts way before I hit the water. Energy drinks or mate are normally what I use for a pick-me-up, but those don't really help me focus or think better. Alpha Brain supports clarity and focus with ingredients like L-theanine and huperzine A. They help your brain make more of the chemicals linked to memory and learning. No caffeine, just clarity. Focus doesn't happen by accident, it's built every day. Alpha Brain fits in.
Yeah, so that's a really good video, and I just think they should be doing more of that and targeting more customer groups. Anyway, so over to Thesis now. First thing Thesis are doing way better is they're testing multiple landing pages. So whilst the general style of the landing page is roughly the same, they're doing something that I think every brand has to be doing, which is they are keeping consistency between the ads and the landing page. They are having one emotional driver at the top, or one selling point that's the same as the ad that is sending traffic there. So this page has, this is not Adderall. This page has guilt-free stress relief. This page has own your mind. So actually testing different landing pages and trying to hit the right pain point, that is one of the few examples I've seen of ad accounts that are actually taking this seriously and showing customers specific pain points based on the ad they've clicked on. That is what you have to be doing, because you need continuity. You need customers to feel like they've been understood from start to finish. Imagine seeing an ad and you're like, yes, this product speaks to me. Then you land on the product page and there's just nothing about that pain point. You feel like you've been a bit conned. You just don't feel like, or you're just not going to necessarily be as likely to go through with the purchase because you're less there's just not that continuity. Whereas if you go to the landing page and you're still like, yes, this product was made for me, you're obviously way more likely to buy. So it's as simple as that, and you've just got to keep testing. And I like, obviously this is a mistake, keeping the word test in the URL, but it shows they are testing, and that's obviously, shows they care about their landing pages, and I think that's really, really good. Shows they're doing the right stuff, whereas Onnit are doing no testing with their landing pages. People spend so much time testing creatives. I'm shocked how few actually bother to test landing pages. With the right supplier, it can be even cheaper than to make, whole new videos as well. So yeah, I don't get why people don't test these landing pages as much as they test creatives. Starting off with the landing page then, and going into this one, they have much better videos and statics than Onnit do. So you can see over here, they've got interesting imagery, clear us versus them, stats. They've got even a UGC video in here, or a founder video actually.
The core of what we do is we take some of the methods that have.
So like, yeah, they've put so much effort into this. They've got a founder video, they've got before and afters, they've got us versus them, a mountain of just evidence as to why you should buy their product. They're not being arrogant. They're aware that they're going to have to convince you to buy their supplement. It's not an easy decision to just randomly go and spend $100 on a supplement. They're clearly trying to get customers in. They stand by their product, and they've got a cheaper price for month one than they do for future months. So an offer just to get people through the door, which is obviously necessary. Good social proof here. The reviews are way better than Onnit's. Obviously, they're working with a much better product, clearly, because they have much better reviews overall. I would like to see more photos here, but I believe they have, they've got video reviews here anyway already. So they've got video reviews with a quote as well. Really well done, and very aesthetic, and much more of a vibe of everyone's doing it. That's what you want to create with social proof, and having videos from lots of different types of people. You can see all different demographics. So much better than just having a generic review section like Onnit do. 10x the focus power, that's catchy. That's more of like a how's my life going to be different with this product. Yes, they've got the ingredients in here, but they're aware that no one's going to visit your website as a new customer and suddenly be like, oh, what are the ingredients in this product? It's not like the thing people are most interested in straight away, but they've got it here in a nice visually appealing way anyway. Later on, they've just not worked it in too quick. Here, instant gratification from social media, endless distractions, rewire your brain. Like, really understanding the customer. So many people can relate to this, struggling with needing instant gratification from social media and needing cheap dopamine. They're using all the key buzzwords that show they've researched how their customer speaks. So overall, yeah, this is really good. The cons for this website, I didn't receive any pop-up. There's also not a clear mechanism. So whilst I feel like a customer will feel understood on this page, and there's lots of good language, there's no comparison between why other products fail and why they succeed. So there does need to be a clearer mechanism. They could have more urgency as well. And I'd also like to see more specific measurable results. What have people seen from this product? Have they, maybe a buzz phrase like I was able to focus for 10 hours instead of my usual 3, or just more like stats. They work really well, so it'd be good to have something like that on there. But overall, I'd give this a 9 out of 10 because I think they've got so much right here. I won't go into it, but if you click on any of these buttons, you then go into the sort of setup section where you tell them about you, and they craft the supplement for you, or they give you your custom plan. But as of this landing page, and I'd call this a pre-sale page, this is really good, and just the fact they're testing different hooks and triggers is really, really good. I wouldn't change much on this page. Just maybe a bit more of an us versus them mechanism throughout. Although they do have it on a few statics, I think it could be a lot clearer, a lot more clearly posted what they do better than their competitors. They've got a lot more ads than Onnit, which already means they're testing more. And that itself is obviously a good thing. Both brands, whilst we don't know the budget, they're both clearly big enough to be testing hundreds of ads. So again, whilst I don't know the budget, I know that Onnit should be doing a lot more than 70 ads. 250 in Thesis case is decent. You can see at the top, so we're sorting by highest impressions first. So we know these ads are their best performers. It's probably because it's bottom of funnel. That doesn't mean these are incredibly good ads. It just means that customers who are already considering the product are more likely to, just need the price and the discount to convince them. Discount-led statics are often a sign that a brand is just running bottom of funnel. No one who's not been sold already or told about Thesis is going to buy because this random box here is $59. So, obviously you need to already be aware of the brand and you need to be sold to. So these are all bottom of funnel statistics and they're good. Now you can see I've saved a lot of these videos because they're doing so much right and I want to go into these videos in more detail. Main takeaway from this page is they are doing a lot of whitelist ads. So and they're doing a lot. They're doing more than most brands that I've seen. If we scroll further down, you'll see a ton of them. Anatomy of Therapy, Dr. Jesse Ropat. You can see like all these different types of pages. Thoughts from my 30s. You can see they're like targeting these specific avatars. Imagine you're in your 30s. You've not heard of Thesis before. Are you more likely to click on what looks like a mum influencer called Thoughts from My 30s, or are you going to click on some random brand called Thesis? This is why whitelist ads are so effective. It's just such a good way to appeal to different audience segments, which, as I said, with the Andromeda update is essential. You do your targeting with the creative, and that's exactly how you do it. So yeah, throughout, they've got 200 ads live, so you'll see, there's loads more whitelist here. There's Mega and Jubril, you've got that doctor again. All throughout, they're clearly using their customers' pages, which is really fantastic and underutilized by a lot of brands. So into the 4Play account now, or we'll go back into the swipe file. This already much better static than what Alpha Brain are doing or what Onnit are doing with the Alpha Brain products, because they're just shoving the product in your face, whereas Thesis are showing a clear before and after. It's got a really enticing visual. You don't know that this is an ad immediately because it's not got a product on it. It's hitting clear pain points, so can't focus, procrastinating, no motivation, flow state, natural energy, completing tasks. Very clearly stating a before and after. Very good use of a static here, using all the space, visually appealing. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I had thousands of you get really excited when I posted these Thesis supplements. They're nootropics. They're amazing for focus, productivity, lessening your emotional and mental overwhelm. And somebody slid into my DMs being like, how dare you? I'm not a doctor. No, I'm not a freaking doctor. But what I do know with absolute certainty is that I was diagnosed with ADHD about a year and a half ago. That is when I found Thesis as a customer and was a very satisfied one for about a year before ever working with the brand to get a discount code that I could share with other people, because it absolutely changed my life. Forgive me, my discount is going to expire soon.
So what I like here is, again, they're targeting a very clear avatar. This girl talks openly about her ADHD, so she's probably got a brand around that and people following her who relate to that. So that's going to get much cheaper CPMs because people are going to be much more likely to click on this ad and be receptive to it. So yeah, really good video there as well.
Why do I wake up already stressed as the car racing? Like shoulders up, jaw tight, nothing has even happened yet. That's cortisol. Cortisol is your fight or flight hormone. Chronic stress keeps it elevated. So I'm in survival mode in my kitchen? Exactly. That's embarrassing. Also, why am I violently angry at the old lady in front of me on the sidewalk? She didn't even do anything to me. It's stress chemistry stacking up. That's it. You love saying chemistry, huh? Saffron helps support mood and ease irritability. Saffron? Like rice saffron? Yeah.
So good, like they're 30 seconds and they've not even mentioned the product yet. It's so native and such a natural podcast style setting, hitting so many pain points, talking about just being angry day to day, talking about waking up stressed, really understanding the customer first before you try to sell them. Exactly what you want to be doing in a UGC video, and a podcast style UGC is one of the best formats because it's unique and it looks very natural as well, and it blends into the platform.
Yes, but not hiatus. Here's the weird one. I'm exhausted, but wired. Classic stress loop. Rhodiola helps your body handle stress without making you drowsy.
Yeah, so that's a great ad.
3 signs stress is making your body old. Puffiness in your face and lower belly. Libido that disappeared without explanation. Exhaustion, no matter how much sleep you get. That's not just aging, that's chronic high cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol remains high, your body stores fat to protect your organs. It holds onto fluid. It suppresses sex hormones. It keeps you wired at night instead of resting and repairing. This is why chronic stress makes you feel older than you are. So how do we stop that? This little glass bottle. Stress Reset is a supplement designed to help lower cortisol.
Again, it's taken almost 30 seconds to get into the product. Now they're getting into benefits. You can imagine where this goes from here. It's really well done. They've obviously used AI for this. They've been quite clever with its use. Again, just testing different formats. We don't know if this is working or not. But, you know, they're testing podcast ads, AI, whitelist, statics. They've got every sort of format going, as well as that they're testing variations of each one. They're testing different hooks. They're testing different combinations. They're doing VSLs, I think you'll see here.
I'm a porn star, and I wish more men did that.
So first of all, amazing hook. Obviously, that's breaking the pattern on social media. You're going to be like, what is this? Who's this porn star? What's she talking about? And then they mash up other content.
Porn, that's cheap dopamine. Scrolling TikTok, that's cheap dopamine. Can't stop binging on junk food, that's cheap dopamine too. This makes your brain less sensitive to normal dopamine sources. Cheap dopamine is rewiring and desensitizing your brain. Here's my recommendation. Taking a supplement that supports and replenishes your dopamine.
So you see, a lot of brands would have just posted this video of this guy talking about the product, or talking about you know, everything he's talking about, without having that hook. Here they've got this guy. They know clearly they must have tested, and they know that this guy does well. That this video does well, and now they've put that really catchy hook at the beginning as well. Now they can keep testing this video with many different hooks and see which one performs best.
Ever wonder where you can watch 3 hours of Netflix but can't answer one email?
I had two choices.
Again, much better hook than that guy that was walking with his phone camera out, because she's got these glasses on her face. Like, just trying everything to be different and be more engaging and captivating. That's what UGC takes right now, and that's great. Another thing, this guy's got his nose tape on in the video. That's definitely intentional. People who take supplements, more health conscious, more, what's the phrase, like biohacking, things like that, the nose tape is obviously going to be relatable to them. So these people are doing all these little tricks to really make sure their customer feels understood. That's why I really like their marketing. Everything here is incredibly intentional, and they're doing such a good job of that.
So day one was get my shit done, and the other one was to watch some guy on TikTok build a mud hut with his hands.
So I love that, like super relatable. Everyone can relate to the joke about staying up till 4 a.m. watching random YouTube videos in particular. I think I've seen this meme a few times of that, those like guys that like they build mud huts, and it's yeah, obviously very relatable, and that's a clear pain point. You know, you don't want to be up till 4 a.m. not able to sleep watching stupid YouTube videos, and that's what this guy's hitting on. So again, it just really shows they've understood their customer. They've not just gone, we're going to make you sleep better. They've actually told the story of, we're going to stop you from staying up till 4 a.m. watching mud hut videos. So really well done, and every detail is so well crafted here.
Love those videos. And you know what I picked? For the first time, like ever, the shit that I needed to do it.
It is because of the stuff that is in this little glass bottle. Thesis is a supplement that makes my brain feel like it actually works. I want to get things done. I am the best version of myself.
There's no crap.
And they're alternating between two creators, so much more captivating. Again, they could be so lazy just getting one creator video, selfie mode, posted online. They're mashing up two different creators. They're making sure they're hitting pain points. They're storytelling in a really good way. This guy's like crouching down. He's got the nose tape on. Like, he's talking about how he can't sleep. Every little bit to be relatable to the customer, to hit their pain points. It's done so well here. And that's why I really like this ad account. Every video is like this. There's some intention behind it. It's relatable. It's a different format. There's just, yeah, so much really, really done right here.
Crash, there's no jitters. I'm just dialed in. I wasn't doing this or that, or talking to Netflix saying just one more episode over and over and over again. That stuff feels good in the moment. Immediate gratification, but it will drain you over time. Low dopamine equals no drive, and that is a scientific fact.
Thesis helps replenish those levels. So now deep work feels manageable, and I can get into that flow state again. Let me tell you, you are not broken. Your brain is just asking for better fuel, and Thesis is exactly that.
Yeah, so another great video. Let's see some more static. So this is really good. It looks native. It breaks the mold of their other ads. If you've got, you know, if a brand's suffering from creative fatigue and people are used to seeing certain ads already, that's why you want variety in your ads, because let's say people have been shown this video 5 times, they're not going to know that this is also Thesis at first glance. They're going to notice this fat face. They're going to notice the call to action here, and they're just more likely to, you know, start afresh noticing your brand instead of having to, you know, always be like, oh, this is another Thesis ad, and they scroll past. There's just all these different ads. They keep seeing your brand in different ways, and they keep being engaged and, you know, being shown different formats. So as well as that, this is a very enticing hook, less chiseled and more puffy. That's obviously going to be a pain point for anyone that's not happy with how they're looking right now, if they feel they've got too much fat on them. There's also a funny static. It's very eye-catching. You've got one guy who's, you know, fat, and then there's the same guy having lost a lot of weight. It's funny, it's entertaining. Let's look at this video. So they have a lot like this, like a lot of skits, which don't directly sell the product. You're quite unlikely to get customers from this. But if someone sees one of these skits and then sees an ad, they're just more likely to, now they already know who Thesis is. And then you show them a different ad, like this video that sells the product really well, or this VSL. Now they're just over time going to be more nurtured and be more likely to buy the product. So skits like that, if done well, are really good. They can lower your CPMs as well because you get obviously a lot more engagement on them, a lot more impressions. Same here. This is really cool, very aesthetic and very very relatable with, I think that was like a screen time screenshot there, like a nice breakfast. Like they know their customer, they know the kind of content their customer's consuming. Okay, so another skit, again, being relatable. This is just sort of nurturing their customers, showing that they understand them. And that's really going to help them down the line when they show them a conversion-focused ad.
The first time I took it, I was wired, like throwing in the outfield, and I'm catching everything. So then when I started taking Thesis, I felt like I was locking in for the day early. It was 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I'm running through the checklist of things I gotta do.
Again, so relatable, like clearly understanding their customer. It's such a good ad and exactly what they need to be doing. One thing I noticed that isn't here because we can't see the copies is, and this is something you could really apply to any brand, and every brand should be doing this, is they mention in their copy, like, as a 41-year-old, and then another copy mentioned, like, as a 34-year-old. It's exactly what I mentioned. You target your avatars with your creatives and with your copy. You don't do it with interest now. So you used to, on Meta, select the age and the audience and interest and all that stuff. Meta's algorithm is so good now that your interests aren't going to influence them. They are literally going to they're going to listen to who is responding to your ad. Now, obviously, people in their 40s are going to stop for an ad that says, as a 40-year-old, I felt, and maybe something about kids or something relatable to a 40-year-old. They're going to stop the scroll more than a 20-year-old is. And over time, Meta's going to show that ad specifically to 40-year-olds because those people are stopping the scroll. And so by doing that, you're reaching your customers so much more effectively, and you are going to be getting better results. People are going to feel more spoken to, and that's just what's working right now. You have to do your targeting on the creative and the copy level, and that's what Thesis are doing. They're targeting different professions, different ages. You see that throughout the whole ad account. And so taking that into consideration, like seeing that they are testing the landing pages, testing formats, testing hooks, testing angles, testing different stages of the awareness funnel. You've got top, middle, and bottom of funnel ads, with the skits, then the conversion focused ads, and then the offer ads. They are doing everything completely textbook, exactly how I would do it. They are targeting different avatars in the copy and creative, like I said. They're doing that via whitelist ads as well. They've just got everything going that I would recommend. The landing page is good, and they're testing multiple landing pages. So overall, this is genuinely the best ad account I've seen, or the best ad library I've seen. And I would study these guys, and I would look at what I've said in terms of what they're testing and how they're testing it. You can apply that to any brand on pretty much any budget. You should be getting UGC from your customers, then running it as a whitelist ad. You should have engaging statics, as well as having bottom of funnel offer-led statics that convince your low-hanging fruit customers to buy. When you find winners, you should be editing them with better hooks and testing those. The UGC and the hooks themselves show that you understand your customer. Spend a little bit of time even understanding how they speak, what content they consume, talking about things like dopamine and this brand just so clearly understands the buzzwords of their target customer. Tell your creators to make the content engaging. Don't just hold up the product. Don't reveal the product too early in the video. All these points here, everything I mentioned in this video about what Thesis are doing is exactly what you need to be doing as well. So just deep dive and understand your customer. Make sure they feel that in every ad. Trigger them with an emotional hook. Find your winners and test them. Test those winners with different hooks, different combinations, mash up the videos to keep it engaging, and keep testing different formats. And really, that's the secret. And if you look through the Thesis' ad account with that in mind, you've got an amazing template on what you can steal from them and implement for your own brand, and what philosophy you can implement into your marketing. So have a look through. There's so many ads I haven't covered here of theirs. There'll be so much more you can learn. Everything I saw from them I loved. So there's a good chance if you look through all their ads, you'll find lots more that is definitely worth copying or taking inspiration from. But yeah, really good. I'd give this ad account 10 out of 10. I would give the landing page 8 or 9 out of 10, just because I think just because I really haven't, gone through the whole quiz process to buy the product, and I didn't see much of a comparison between them and competitors. On the page, those were sort of my main two downsides. But yeah, I'd say 9 out of 10 landing page, 10 out of 10 ad account. It's the best ad account I've seen, and yeah, highly recommend you learn from it. So with that said, definitely go and implement this. But if you need any help implementing this kind of style into your ad accounts, these kind of creatives, landing page testing, you're looking for a general fractional CMO. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I run Loudline, which is a growth partner CMO style agency that helps brands with ads, creatives, and full funnel marketing approach. So I recommend booking a call with one of our team if you need any help with creatives or growing your brand. Essentially, we provide the most comprehensive growth audits out there at no cost, because we know the value we can provide. We love when people go, take that, implement it themselves, and tell us it helped them grow their brand. And it's led to some amazing partnerships for us. So a lot of brands have obviously gone on to work with us and partnered with us, which is why we like to give away that value, show you what we can do. And then obviously we know at the end of the day, some people go on to work with us, and those are really good partnerships for us. So please make full use of that. Book the call, take a growth audit. We will review, just like I've reviewed the ad library here, but in far more depth. We will review your creatives and your ad account and your landing pages, tell you exactly what you need to do to add another zero onto your revenue for your brand. You'll be shocked how much every single brand is leaving on the table with very simple changes. So yeah, book that call. If you're interested, one of our team will speak to you and give you a full audit and consultation. So our team hopes to see you on one of those calls. And also, if you click the link below, you can receive my 20 favorite statics that are currently live on Meta after scouring over 100 ad accounts and auditing them. 100 of the biggest 9-figure plus ad accounts. I found the best statics and I've broken down why they work. And you can steal that today and implement that for your own brand. Copy those best statics and take inspiration from them. So yeah, stay tuned for the next Brand Battles episode, and thanks for watching.